What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about OnyxCoin today, XCN USD. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are on the 26th of April. Moving down. We're moving down, and it's not fun. Nobody wants to see this thing move down. No, it's fine. It's totally fine. We're at about 2 cents right now. The idea would be that we do not close below about 2.035 cents if I'm not mistaken. This fib is a big deal, right? From a low to a high. The 236 right there at 0.20018, but I think this one is an even bigger deal, right? This one from here, from the relative low there to the relative high there at 2.035. That one's a bigger deal. So ideally, let's be fair, relatively speaking, as long as we're above 2.018 cents, that's fine too. But if we could get above 2.035, it's just a little bit higher, right? I would prefer to be above both of them. So that's why I think it's a bigger deal. If we move down here, and we were talking about this last night, if we do move down, it's fine. Okay, we can move below the 236 and still, by the end of the day, in the next 8 hours, come back up and close above it. As long as we're closing above it, I'm not worried about the price going below these lows. Now, it's very uncommon. I've seen it happen like once in my time trading, but maybe I haven't paid attention to it enough. I don't know. Maybe it happens more often than I think. But when you get above the 236 like this after finding a double bottom on the 382, when you close below the 236, you don't bounce off the 382 again. But I have seen it happen once. I can say I've seen it happen once. It could happen. Anything could happen. Maybe you find a higher low. Who knows? But generally speaking, with this kind of endeavor, you're breaking out, break out, continue. Why aren't you continuing? If you don't continue, you're going to do something different, right? The opposite of continuing. You're going to regress. Closing below the 236 would validate the idea that we do see the 0.5. And if we do move down to the 0.5, that's at 1.4 cents. XCN OnyxCoin is fine. This was not the bull flag. We thought we were breaking out of the bull flag. This is the bull flag, right? That's essentially what that would imply, is that we're just in a larger flag. And that's okay. We can be in a larger flag. Maybe it takes us to lower prices. Maybe we do bounce at 1.4 cents. We've made that argument as well. Why it wouldn't be too crazy to bounce at 1.4 cents, right? Because from the most relative low here of this move to this high here, not the low over here, that was the low of this move, but the low of this move, you know what I mean? Bounced right off the 0.5. It's perfect. It's literally perfect. And you're looking at it here. If we were to go to the 0.5, is that such a bad thing? No. Right? From the lows April 7th to that area there, that's a 90% gain from the lows of April 7th. If we look at the others chart, which is the average crypto in like the top 125, which OnyxCoin is a part of, the average crypto right now from the lows to where they are, they're up about 36%. They could double in growth, and that would still be lesser than 90%, even if OnyxCoin decayed from here. So we could see, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I don't expect this to happen. We're putting it on the radar in case it does happen. That's the whole purpose. That's the purpose, okay? We're at about 2 cents now. We could drop down below 1.5 cents. We could see something on the lines of a 30% drop. It could happen. We could drop even lower than that, and it would still be fine. But I don't, just in the context of what could be a bull flag here, a larger bull flag that we weren't originally seeing, but now we have a little bit more clarity, it could be there. You found support here before, right? We put it right at the 0.5. You found resistance there, support there, resistance there. I wonder if we go back in time, is it an area of significance? I don't think so. I don't remember it being one, but not really, but kind of, but not really. However, again, I'm not expecting this. I'm not calling for this. This is just something that we've been aware of probably for the last like 4 days now. We've been aware of it. It's getting more likely as each day passes, right? But honestly, whenever you break out, whenever you move up like this and you just kind of consolidate moving sideways, it's actually a really good thing. It's not a bearish thing. It's actually a good thing, and it often implies continuation. You're going to break out here. It is the weekend. We could be having some trickery going on here, but I am thinking I will start to be calling for 1.48 cents. That price specifically, I'll be calling for that if today does close below the 236. If we close below the 236, that's what it would take. Okay, hold on now. Let's see here. There we go. And to be fair, maybe I should be a little bit more fair than that. Maybe not just the 236. Okay. Maybe not just today is what I should say. If we close below it today and tomorrow, right? 2 days, because we could see a false signal. You could get a false close below and then the next day move up. That happens often enough. but I definitely wouldn't want to see it close below there. So ideally we'd move up. Let's see if we, on the short-term time frame, if that happens. Let's see what we got here. Okay. I didn't know I had all these indicators on here. That's nice. Have I had them on this whole time? Well, that's great. The daily MACD, I will say, is in a position where it could start to cross down. We do have bearish divergence technically. You do have bearish divergence, but in all fairness, this move has already moved to where the divergence formed, so it doesn't really require that you go down any lower. The daily stochastics is postured to the downside now. It's not bouncing off the 50. It looked good yesterday, but now it's looking bad. So if we can get today to close green, that'd be a really big deal for the daily stochastics. And the RSI as well, rejecting off of this, not a good look. If we could get today to close green, it'll make it like a kind of false signal. And I've seen this happen a few times already this week for various coins. But if not, we likely will either go down to the 50 or maybe lower. But to the 50 down there would likely take us below this low as well. So just be aware, 1.4 cents is a very real possibility. It's not a threat. It's just a real possibility. And if it happens, guess what? All the targets we're talking about still happen. We could go down. If we do go down to 1.4 cents, our measure move changes a little bit, right? It's like 1.44 cents or something like that, right? Something around this area. Measure move changes a little bit, but there it goes right up to about 4.8 cents. And so, instead of 5.5 cents, you're right there at this area where we found resistance before. That would be rather poetic to find resistance where we found resistance before. And I actually do theorize that we will, when we move up here, whether it's here, whether it's at 5.6 cents, 6 cents itself, we'll have this look of a double top. Right, we can have a slightly higher high and still have that look of a double top, and that'll just give the bears something to cope on. Right, they're coping on everything they get. I'm sure there's a lot of celebrating right now. I haven't looked at the comments today, but we're down 3%. I don't celebrate when we're up 7% to the upside. You know what I mean? I don't get out of bed for that, but I'm sure that the bears are having a parade down 3.8% today. And they're going to need something to have a parade about up here too, even though every step of the way we're invalidating the notion that we're going lower, and we're validating the notion that we are, in fact, on our way to 20 cents and beyond. Very prosperous targets, but I digress. I want to look at the short-term stuff again, getting into the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour RSI does look a little bit bearish, if I'm being honest, but you're at an area where you could bounce right off the 40. And if you do bounce here, you set yourself up for a bullish scenario. So hey, look at that. 3-hour, 59 minutes left. We just closed this 4-hour period. We're right at the 40. This is actually a bullish setup, you guys. If by the end of today, if we can move back up, man, that would be great. That'd be a really good look on the 4-hour. And then, of course, getting below the 236 but coming back up, that validates that we're still holding here. We're moving down, and we don't have a lot of volume coming in. But that was, to be fair, this move down was about average in volume, a little bit above average even. And that does validate the idea that we're breaking down. I was saying yesterday with this breakout that we had, because we have this little triangle, we were breaking out and there's no volume. That volume's picking up a little bit. Let's be honest. It's picking up a little bit. And maybe, and you can see it picking up here, yeah, maybe we do continue going lower. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If we do go lower, don't be worried. None of this video, I'm talking about it so much just because it looks like it right now, but I'm not, the whole step of the way, I'm saying I don't expect this to happen. I'm talking about it because I'm sure it's on everybody's mind, bull or bear, haters or lovers. It's probably on all of our minds right now, what would happen if we go lower. And so that's why we're talking about it, right? I don't expect it to happen, but in case it does, that's why we're talking about it, right? What I do expect, regardless of what happens in the short term, if we go lower, if we go lower than lower, if we move sideways, if we move up, they're all going to move up. And we're all going to see prices above this high in a matter of days, if not in a matter of weeks. The target idea to see prices above 5 cents by the end of the month is still very much on the table. We just, we got to turn around sooner than later here. Let's look at the 1-hour time frame. 1-hour RSI is in the oversold zone. You're pretty deep into the oversold zone too. You're right at this area that you like to bounce from, actually, so that's good. Yes. You might go a little bit lower. Maybe this hour here is the last hour of downside. We'll have a wick on this 4-hour candle and then start to move up. I could see it. So maybe we move down to 1.94 cents. Maybe we hold our ground right here, whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised, guys, by the time most of you watch this, we're a little bit lower, or that we're a little bit lower, but then by the end of the day, we're back up higher, right? So if we move down the 1-hour, I wouldn't be surprised by that. The only reason I wouldn't be surprised by that is that the 1-hour RSI, it's very near this very specific area that it likes to find support off of. You're very near it now, and maybe you find support right here. Maybe you do, but you've gone a little bit below it. You found support right at it, if anything. So I think you go a little bit lower. You'll close this 1-hour period red here, the the 16th hour, and then the remainder of the day, I think you begin to move up. I do believe we'll close today above 2 cents, above 2.035 cents, and starting tomorrow and the next day, we'll begin to grow more. I'm assuming that we will start to grow by the end of this month. We're looking for targets that are above this high here, if not at least around there. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.